Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Lindsay. Today's practice will be a fun, funky flow, and it's called Take Flight. Today's class, we are going to be working towards taking flight in a peak posture, which I won't disclose just yet, as I would like us to work through this flow, focusing on how our body feels and taking modifications if necessary. So, if you are at home practicing with me, please get the things that you need. Press pause on the video. I'll make a list. We need, if you're interested in modifications, 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, that's okay. You can use books, maybe a stack of 2 thick books or a few books. Also, if you would like, maybe a little pillow. That won't be used until later in the class. And if needed, grab a strap or towel that might be able to help you in your assists within this class. And a mat. If you don't have a mat, maybe something to put down on the floor underneath your knees. If we don't have a mat and we're practicing at home on a hardwood floor, maybe tiles or ceramic such as myself, if a mat is not accessible to you. And again, we will go through this flow. Pause the video now to grab everything that you need. And my Spotify playlist in accordance with this class will be posted in the YouTube notes. So take a moment and I'll meet you when you come back. All right, let's get started. Welcome to class, yogis. My name is Linz, and welcome to Taking Flight. We're going to begin at the top of our mat. I will continue to face you so it can be easier in this moment, in a seated Baddha Konasana, or an easy sit. I myself am sitting on a block, as that is more comfortable for me. So find a seated position that works best for you. Legs can be crossed as such, or for seated Baddha Konasana, bring both soles of the feet together and gently allow the knees to open wide. Begin to turn your focus inward towards the sounds of your breath entering and leaving this body. With every inhale, we find expansion. With every exhale, we find contraction of the body. Palms can face up on the knees or wherever is comfortable for you, hands at heart center. Take a moment here. Inhale. Exhale loudly through the mouth. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Begin to breathe normally, focusing on your breath. Throughout the class, I will cue inhales and exhales, but it is most important to have a continuous breath, reminding yourself not to hold your breath, but instead, if you need shorter or longer breaths, your breath is your choice. Remembering that throughout this class, modifications are welcome, whichever suits your body best. Inhale, exhale. Allowing whatever has stressed you out this week, caused tension in the body, just sit with it. Allowing your mind to let go of things that might have upset you this week, ruffled your feathers. Setting an intention for yourself. Could be a simple intention like, I love myself, or I'm happy that I made it to my mat this week. When you have your intention, you're welcome to bring your hands to heart center, focusing on that intention and bringing it throughout your practice by allowing it to be with you. Not allowing any distractions, but if they do happen as we are human, focusing back on that breath to come back to your practice. Inhale, raise the palms to your third eye, bringing the intention to the forefront of our mind. Exhale, hands come back down onto the knees. Meet in a tabletop position, in a seated position, gently lowering down onto the back body. Pull the right knee in towards the chest, both hands either on the knee or on top of the shin. Begin to circle out the right leg, either clockwise or counterclockwise. Finding some mobility within our hips. Switch directions. Lower the right leg down. Left knee in towards the chest, both hands on top of the shin or the knee. Circle out that left hip. Switch directions if you were going one way. Bring the left knee in towards the chest. Keep the left hand on that left knee. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Thankful that we made it to our mats today. Bring your head back down if you gave it a lifted hug. Allow your hands to come on the outside blades of your feet. If this is uncomfortable, it's okay to put your hands behind your knees to allow for more accessibility of your body wherever you may be at in your practice. For a reclined, happy baby. You can also do one leg at a time if this is more accessible to you. Taking a few breaths here, find stillness or finding some gentle movements. Yoga sometimes is focused around the asana or the poses that we practice. And I believe that yoga is about the breath and how we feel within our bodies during our physical practice and the breath that moves within us. Take a couple more breaths here. Last one. Leave your legs where they're at. Release the hands. Naturally allow your body to open a bit more. From here, feet can come closer in towards your midline, or they can stay more open, whichever is comfortable towards you. Extend the hands out towards the ceiling as if your palms were going to press the ceiling. Flex those feet and pull your hands up towards that ceiling as if you're pressing down and in. Bring the knees in closer towards the chest and hold here. Push the back of the skull back. Breathe for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, lower it down. Exhale, loudly. Great job, yogis. Lift the feet up towards the sky. Lift the hands to the sky. Shake it out like a dead bug. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Lower it all down. Ooh, maybe take some free movements here. Great job. And if you're with me, you're welcome to take a few rolls to meet me in tabletop, or you can just meet us in tabletop at the top of the mat. Facing the fingertips towards the knees, shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Knees can be hip distance or they can be wider. Focusing on a hip stretch, you can find stillness here or maybe some gentle movements. Can be circular, could be stillness. Flip the palms, fingertips facing in towards the midline for a little bit of a deeper stretch. Again, working towards straightening those arms. Allowing the stretch to be within your wrists, not causing pain. We're not looking for pain, but more so if it is uncomfortable, you can back off a little bit if needed. Opening and closing the hands. Or if you want an added bonus, fingertips face towards the knees, palms facing up. Bend and straighten the elbows. And when ready, flip the palms back. Exhale, come to a seat on your heels. Those of you who would like an added challenge, you're welcome to tuck your toes, spreading the toes wide down on the mat for a toe stretch. I will not be doing this modification. It's okay if you would like to. And for those that might need an added bonus, take a block, sit back down onto your block if you need to ease some tension within your knees, spreading the legs gently apart if they don't come together. Lengthen the hands out. Flip the palms out towards the top of your mat. Extend, extend, extend those fingers as if you could stretch them. Every part, every inch, press through those palms and close them. Open them, pressing the palms, stretching those fingers and close them. Open and close. Open and close. Continue on here and gently increase the speed that you open and close your palms for our flashlights for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, great job, 3, 2, 1. Resist the urge to shake it out. Lift the arms up overhead. Palms again face towards the top of the mat, whichever way that may be. Spread those fingertips wide, spread them wide and close. Spread them wide open and close. Make that fist. Continuing on here for the next 10. Gently increasing the speed as we go. 8, 7, 6. Great job, yogis. You're almost there. 5, 3, 2, 1. Gently lower the arms down. Resist the urge to shake out the wrists and twist. Roll out those wrists whichever way you need them to be. Feeling the burn in those wrists? Great job. You're doing it right. Feeling it in the forearms? Again, we're feeling nice and warm now. No one said yoga was easy. Remove the block, and if you are on your toes, meet us in tabletop. If you did your toe stretch, tap out your feet gently, circle out those ankles to give you some release, and meet us in tabletop. Stack the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, tuck the toes, drop the belly, bring the chest forward, lifting the head high for a cow pose. Exhale, press down through the hands, lift the back of the chest, and lengthen the toes down for cow. Inhale, tuck the toes, drop the belly, lift the head, push the back of the skull back for cow. Exhale, press down through the palms, lift through the back of the heart for cat. Taking your own free movement or breaths here. Last few breaths if you like, and transition it into a free movement dancing lion. You can go in different directions. Maybe take moments to find where your body needs that extra movement to waken it up and say, hello, I am here with you. I am within my body. There's no right or wrong way to practice yoga. Your body, your movements, that mindfulness within our breath to find most what we need. Last breath here. Meet me back in tabletop. Right arm reaches forward, bicep by the ear. Drag the arm down, back, up and around for your right side arm circles. Next inhale, switch the direction. On your next go around, right arm reaches towards the sky. Press down through that left palm, opening up the chest. Exhale, thread that right arm through our nice little hole and lower the shoulder down onto the mat and the right side ear or back of the head. Now you're welcome to stay here. If you'd like, you're welcome to go deeper in this pose. Pressing down through the left arm is one way. Lifting the arm up towards the sky is another. And for my yogis that maybe want a bit of a challenge, if you feel stability here, take your left leg, left arm reaches up, toes around the ground. Allow the balance to come in the weight of the shoulder. Press down through that right foot on the mat and gently lift the left leg up towards the sky. You can point or flex the foot, your choice. Final breath here. Plant that left hand down if you're with me. If not, stay where you are. Left leg comes back towards the ground. Press down through the left hand, lift the right arm up towards the sky. Right arm comes back down towards the mat for a quick transition with Dancing Lion. We meet in tabletop. Right arm centers on the mat, left arm reaches towards the sky, chest opens, feel that twist within your back body. Bring the bicep towards the left ear, drag it down, back, up, and around for your left side arm circles. Sometimes we get caught up in the things that we should have done or didn't do. Switch directions. And it can be almost paralyzing for us. So in movement, maybe we might find more grace and compassion for ourselves. Left arm reaches towards the sky. Exhale, Bring that left arm through the hole that we provided, lowering the left ear down towards the mat or the left back of the head. Press down through that right palm. This is one way. Feeling the twist within the back body. Or if you're looking for more of a challenge, press down through that right hand. Stick your right toes out to the side of your mat. Keep them tucked. Plant that left foot on the mat. Reach the right arm up towards the sky. This is another variation you're welcome to take. Or if you're with me, yogis, and want to do a balance challenge, press down through that left foot and allow the right foot to come up towards the sky. Last breath here. Great job, yogis. Exhale, bring the right leg down. If you did not lift your left leg, stay where you are. Press down through the right palm. Lift the left arm up towards the sky. Come back to tabletop for 1 or 2 breaths in our dancing lion. Take a sip of water if you need to, because these next few series, we're going to get a little bit warmer than we already are. Meet me back in tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the knees off the mat, wrists are stacked underneath the shoulders, push the hips up and back to a downward facing dog. If you need to adjust your stance for it to be shorter with knees bent, that's fine. If your dog is longer with knees bent and your heels don't touch the floor, that's fine too. Find what works best for you. And take a few breaths here in our downward dog and paddle out the feet. Or find stillness, your choice. Remembering that breath throughout this practice. We meet in down dog. Bend the knees. For a turbo facing dog, coming up on the balls of the feet, lift those heels high towards the sky. Press back through the palms. This is your turbo dog. Roll forward, press down through the palms. Lower the knees an inch off the mat for a hovering table. Know these two through the series. Roll back up, stay on the balls of the toes, heels are lifted, turbo dog. Roll forward to a hovering table, hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press up and back toward turbo dog, heels are lifted, hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll forward, press down through the palms, knees are lifted off the mat, hovering table for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, press back to turbo dog, last one for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lower the heels down if you can, or just come to your downward dog and find some movement. Doing great, yogis. You should be starting to feel very warm at this moment. I know that I am. Adjust your stance. Press down through the palms. Roll forward on the tippy toes to a plank pose. Puff up that upper back. Knees come down. Chest comes down and chin for a modified vinyasa. Press back through child's pose. And lift up toward downward facing dog. Again, roll forward to plank pose. Hold here. Puff up the upper back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower those knees, chest and chin towards the mat. Exhale, press back through child's pose. Lifting up to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, find stillness. Take a few sips of water if you need to. And through this next dynamic movement series, we're going to get a bit warm, quite a bit warm, yogis. So if you need to take those moments for yourself, be ready, maybe back in downward facing dog. Last breath and down dog. Loud exhale. Great job. Insides of the feet come close together. Right leg lifts towards the sky. Take a few moments here for your hip circles. Finding free movement within your right side body. Open and close the hip. Bend and straighten the leg. It's up to you. If you're going one direction, switch the direction. Right leg reaches towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, rolling forward. Plant the right foot outside of the right hand. Lower the left knee. Center the left hand on the mat. And open up the chest towards the right side of the room for a knee down twist. Take a breath here. Maybe circle out the wrists. Exhale, right hand comes down, and you might need your blocks for this portion. That's up to you. Tuck the back toes, lift the left knee towards the sky, and boop, that left foot up towards the left hand. If you're in this position, if that's where your mobility is, that's okay. If you can come to a Malasana squat and sit on a block. If you don't need a block, that's okay too. If either of these poses are not accessible to you, that's okay. Modify with a forward fold. Micro bend in those knees, hinging at those hips. Allow your hands to come out in front of you. Inhale. Exhale, come down, plant the hands on the mat, lift the hips up in this weird kind of sumo squat. Adjust the feet, come back in towards the midline, micro bend in those knees for a forward fold. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. And if those of you are using a block, grab your blocks now, plant the hands on the blocks. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Lift the right heel up off the mat. Press down through those palms. Push the back of the skull back. Lift up through the left heel. Feel the weight gently come forward, but keep contact on your mat and with your toes on the mat as well. Feeling that pubic bone or your pelvis coming in towards your chest for 5, 4, 3, press, 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 2, lower those heels down, open up your stance, come back into a Malasana Yogi squat, arms reach out and lengthen. Exhale, plant the palms, lift the hips, micro bend in the knees. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, step back to plank, hold here, lower the knees, chest and chin, press back through child's pose. Lifting up to a downward facing dog. Woo! I don't know about you guys, but I am feeling warm. Let's do this again on the left side. Left leg reaches towards the sky. Open up that hip, and you can either stay here in stillness or you can find movement. Your choice. Bend and straighten the knee. Circle out that hip. I've been playing with this funky arm variation for quite some time now. Final breath. Left leg reaches up towards the sky. Exhale, roll forward, knee to nose. Plant that left foot outside of the left hand. Lower the right knee. Center the right hand on the mat. Lift the left hand towards the sky for a knee down twist. Maybe circle out the wrist. Great job, yogis. Left hand comes down on the mat. Reposition your right hand to be wider. Lift the right knee, and boop, the right foot up towards the mat. Again, if you cannot access if you are not able to do a yogi squat at this time, stay here in this position. This is quite all right. If you can access a yogi squat, come down in a yogi squat. Arms come out forward. Inhale. Exhale, press down, lifting the hips up. Bring the feet in towards the midline for a forward fold. Micro bend in the knees. Press down through the palms. Inhale, look out and lengthen. And if you're using your blocks, grab them now. If not, plant the palms on the mat. Wrap the elbows in towards the midline. Pull that pubic bone up towards your chest. So see how my position is changing? So here's a forward fold. Press down through those palms. Wrap the elbows in towards the midline. Press that pubic bone as if you're dragging it towards your chest. Lift the right heel. Press down through the forward. Lift the left heel. Hold here. Hold here. Press, 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 press for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower those heels down, opening up the feet, coming back into yogi squat or a variation of it. Arms come out. If we're modifying, exhale, plant the palms. Step back into plank pose. Knees come down, chest and chin for a variation vinyasa. Press back through child's pose. Coming back in to a downward facing dog. Great job, yogis. Take a moment here to get a sip of water if you need it. This is our dynamic movement series. Now that we've been through one time on each side, we're going to do the next 2 cycles, and we're going to go a little bit faster. We want to really create this heat naturally within our bodies, or if you're in a heated room, that's fine, but you might be sweating after this. So please feel free, if you need to pause the video, grab some water, meet me back on the mat when you're ready. Okay, we all meet in downward facing dog. Right leg lift towards the sky. Exhale, plant the right foot next to the right hand. Lower the left knee, center the left hand, reach up, knee down, twist. Exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Plant the left toes, lift the left knee. Bring that left foot up towards the top of the mat for a variation of yogi squat. Arms come out, forward. Plant the palms onto the mat. Adjust the feet in towards the midline, forward fold. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, press down through the palms, grip that mat. Wrap the elbows in towards the midline. Lift the right heel, lift the left heel. Push, 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 push through the floor. Drag that pubic bone up towards your chest. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your heels back down, open it up. Yogi squat, hands come out, take a moment. Plant the palms, step back into plank pose. Knees come down, chest and chin. Press back through child's, meet in downward facing dog. Left side, left leg reaches towards the sky. Exhale, plant that left foot by the left hand. Lower right knee, right hand centers. Lift the left hand up towards the sky for a knee down twist. Exhale, plant the left hand, boop. The right foot up towards the mat, variation of Malasana. Hands come out, plant the palms on the mat. Squeeze those feet in towards the midline, forward fold. Palms grip the mat, wrap those triceps in. Lift the right heel, Lift the left heel. Maybe play with allowing your weight to come even more forward, keeping contact. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job, yogis. Lower down into that Malasana yogi squat. Arms come down and out. Just to take a moment for breath here. Plant the palms, step back into plank pose. Knees come down, chest and chin. Press back through child's pose. Lift up towards downward facing dog. Last one, right leg reaches towards the sky. Plant the right foot next to the right hand. Lower left knee, center left hand. Twist to the right side. Plant the left palm, pop the left foot up. Malasana yogi squat. Hands come out, plant the palms down on the mat. Forward fold, inhale, look out and lengthen. Grip the mat, make these last two the best. Wrap the elbows in towards the midline. Lift both heels off of the mat. See how high you can come up on your tippy toes. Press, press, press for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower the heels down, come back into a variation or yogi squat. Plant the palms, step back into plank pose. Knees come down, chest and chin. Press back through child's. Last one, downward facing dog, yogis. You got this. Left leg reaches towards the sky. Plant the left foot by the left hand. Lower the right knee. Right hand centers. Lift that left hand out, knee down, twist. Plant the left hand, boop. The right foot back to the top of the mat, yogi squat. We're doing it, last one. Make this variation your best one. Plant the hands, bring the feet in towards the midline, forward fold. Grip the palms down on that mat, wrap the elbows in towards the midline. And gently lift your heels up. If you want an added bonus, see if you can get your knees on the outside of your arms and hold here, inside of your armpits, or even lower on your triceps. If your hips are higher, that's okay. Hold here, press down, press, 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 press. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Great job. Lower those heels down. Come back into that yogi squat. Woo! I don't know about you guys, but I am sweating. Find your breath in a yogi squat. You're welcome to have a seated yogi squat. And you can stay here for the next couple of breaths as I demo this whole flow. The whole peak. So take a sip of water. As you can hear, I am at home doing this with you. So thankful that you have done this warm up with me and you are here with me now. So we've been working to take flight. Doesn't feel like it because we've been pretty grounded on our mats. So if you haven't guessed, the peak pose of today's flow is crow. You're like, oh no, Lindsay, I don't know if I can do this. You can, and you've been doing it this whole practice. Remembering that modifications for your body are more important than what I look like and my body looks like. So you can sit down, take a few moments, and find which one is gonna work for you. There's a couple of variations to play with. So we've been doing this movement, of allowing ourselves to either be in a Malasana squat for crow or a forward fold for crow. It is up to you to find which one works best for you. These are only 2 ways to get in crow. These aren't the only 2 ways. They're just 2 ways. So for this class purposes, we're gonna plant our palms. I'm gonna show you which one I like best, which is coming into crow from a standing forward fold. For me, that works best. Plant the palms. They're about hip distance apart. Grip that mat, wrap the elbows in towards the midline, allowing my right heel to lift up, but allowing my knee to come in towards my armpit. The left heel lifts up, other knee comes in towards the armpit. And see, We've been doing this movement throughout the class by pushing down. Have a gracious bend in your elbows. And lift the right foot up, hold here. Maybe lift the left foot up. And begin to fly. Now, you're probably at home like, Lindsay, that is scary. That's fine. This is why we have a pillow. If you're afraid of falling forward, super natural. When I started in crow, I started with my head on the mat, which is another way to do it. So if you're afraid of falling forward, let's revisit. Your knees, your placement of your knees can either be on the outside of your triceps, which your triceps are this pec arm area, if you weren't sure. So they can be on the outside, they can be in your armpits, or if you feel you don't bend that much, and that's okay, your triceps can meet your knee. So your knees can even be here on this back part of your arm, on the outside of your tricep, or up into your armpits. Now let's say, I'm afraid of falling forward. Maybe put your head on the mat. Gracious bend in the elbows. And you're almost in this like little weird squat, right? We're kind of in a headstand. If you want, you can cross your feet and flex them together. That gives you more leverage. And you can practice pushing up. That is a bit harder. But if you put a block in front, changes things. See? If I fall, I'm going to hit the block. So take a few moments in your own home and practice your version of a crow pose. Now, I'll give you one more while you're practicing at home. You can even pause this video and just listen to the playlist. If you're a little bit taller, maybe you don't have as range of flexibility in your legs, put the pillow in the front, take your feet, step onto the blocks, and do a forward fold. Give your gracious bend in the knees. Palms grip down through the mat. Knees can be on the outside, armpits, or triceps. Your choice. Mine are gonna go into the armpits. Press down through the hands, gracious bend in the elbows. Press through the palms, dragging that pubic bone forward. Lift the left foot, lift the right foot. Crow. So I'm going to play around with you, yogis. And when you're done playing with your crow pose, take a sip of water and we'll work into our cool down and our final Shavasana. Come to a seated Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet are together as much as possible. They don't need to be touching. Does this pose feel different than it did when we first started? Focusing on your breath. Cooling your body down with your inhales and your exhales. You did such a great job showing up today. Noticing the differences within your body and the heat that you generated for yourself. Do you feel different? Maybe not necessarily better or worse, but is it different? From our seated Baddha Konasana, roll onto your belly. for one of my favorite neutralizing poses. It's called Sleeping Serpent. Lower the right ear towards the mat. Palms are on either side of the body and they face up. Remembering the intention you brought with you into this practice. Or maybe this practice is an escape for you, as it is for me many times. Allowing me to escape from maybe things I'm not ready to face. Which is silly because yoga makes me face it head on. And what I mean by this is it allows me to be present within those feelings and not take action. From here, drag your chin along the mat and bring the left ear down onto the mat. Continuing to allow the breaths to slow our heart rate down. These emotions come up during yoga because many believe that with movement we release tension and toxins and feelings that are trapped inside of our bodies, whatever name you want to call it. Sometimes yoga is very uncomfortable because we avoid. And in yoga, it's very hard to avoid these feelings that come up. Last breath in your Sleeping Serpent. Plant the palms on either side of your body underneath your shoulders or not. Gently lift up your chest and slide the hands forward, elbows underneath the shoulders for Sphinx. Push the back of the skull back, allow the chest to open up. Turn your head to the left. Breathe here. Turn your head to center and look right. Come back to center. Adjust your elbows underneath your shoulders if they moved. And a good way to check is allowing your hands, fingertips to each of your elbows, kind of like this gate. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips, press down through the elbows, puff up that upper back, push through the back of the skull. Hold here in your forearm plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down to Sphinx. Maybe lower your head. Untuck the toes. Feeling the stretch within that back of the neck. 2 more rounds of breath. Lift the head, tuck the toes, Push down through the elbows, lift those hips up to forearm plank. Hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips down, untuck the toes. Come all the way down onto your mat. Wiggle it out as if you had a tail. And when ready, roll onto your back body. For our final cool down. Bend the knees, plant the feet onto the mat. Excuse me. And maybe windshield wiper the legs to either side of the mat. Feeling a nice little massage on the glutes and stretch within your hip area and body. Come back to center. Adjust your placement, allowing the back body to either be flat or at least lengthen down through the tailbone, excuse me. You're like, what does that mean? Sometimes there naturally is a little bit of space. So if you need to adjust your stance for your feet to be closer or wider out to allow your back body to come down flat onto the mat, find that. That is going to be different for everybody, so that's up to you. For me, my feet are a little bit closer. Bring the right knee into the chest, both hands on the knees, circle it out. We've been here before. Noticing the differences of how you felt when we first began this practice to how we're feeling now. Switch the direction. Right ankle comes across left knee for a figure 4. Left knee comes in towards the chest. Leg can stay lifted. You're welcome to stay here. If you'd like to go a little bit further, you're welcome to thread your right arm through the space we provided. Left hand comes on the outside of the left leg and clasp underneath your knee. Or if that's not accessible, you can reach your knee or even just your leg in front of you. Allowing your right knee to stay lifted. You're welcome to use your right elbow for a stretch along the right side glutes, right side hip. Just feeling it gently. Doesn't have to be forced or engaged. Meaning, are you activating a muscle? Are you using force to create this stretch? We're looking for more passive. So just allowing that left knee to come in closer if possible and just see where your stretch feels, where you feel the stretch. Last couple of breaths. Lower the left leg down. Right foot comes onto the mat. Windshield wiper your legs on both sides. Readjusting your stance so we have a flat back with on the mat. Left knee in towards the chest, hands grasp the knee or the shin, circle it out. Left ankle crosses on the right knee. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. You're welcome to stay here. If you'd like to go a little bit further, thread the left arm through the space provided and gently clasp the hands behind the right knee. If this is where you stay, that's great. Utilize that left elbow to kind of gently, naturally, again, not force like we're pressing our elbow in, but just bend in that elbow and see where can we feel the stretch within our left hip, our left side glute, and maybe our left side lower back? You can lower your leg down here like I did. For me, this is the most comfortable, but I'm also feeling a deep stretch within my hip area on my left side. 3 more breaths here. Last one. Let go of the hands, lower the right leg down. Left knee comes in towards the chest. Lengthen that right leg long. Right hand comes on the outside of the left knee or the shin and twist to the right side of the room. You can stay like this, allowing your shoulders to stay on the mat. You can use a block underneath that knee for a supine twist. If you'd like to extend your leg out, you're welcome to do that. There's many variations to the twisting. Take the one that feels best to you. Final 2 rounds. Lengthen, come back to center, lengthen the left leg, squeeze the left leg in towards the chest, lower the left leg down. Switch the legs, right knee comes in towards the chest, clasp the left knee with the left hand or just the left shin and twist over towards the left side of the room, allowing our back to stay flat on the mat or taking a twist on your back that's comfortable to you or that you need. 5 rounds of breath here. Final breath, yogis. Come back to center. Pull that knee in towards the chest. Give it a hug. Lower the right leg down, bend at the knee. Bring the left leg up, bend at the knee, and plant that foot. And here we'll take a supported bridge. So if you have a block or you don't, we could use a stack of books with maybe a towel on top for softness on our back. But if you do have a block at home or if you have the books, find your foot position. Again, allowing for that flat back on the mat. Feet can be wider than hips distance or they can be hips distance. That depends on your body. Feet can face out, they can face forward. Again, depends on your body. Take that block and put it underneath your sacrum. Your sacrum is that little portion on your lower back with those 2 little bony areas. Place it right underneath those 2 little bones on your lower back body. Adjust as needed. Allow the arms to flail out to the sides, and you're welcome to stay here with bent knees, or if you're looking for a deeper supported bridge, you're welcome to lengthen your legs out. Mindful that there's no crunching, tension, or pain in the lower back. If so, come back to bent knees and readjust your block. We'll be here for the next 10 rounds of breath. Last 2 breaths, yogis. If your feet were lengthened, bring them back, planted on the mat, and remove the block from your sacrum. Bring the knees in towards the chest, and you're welcome to take one leg at a time or both legs for your variation of happy baby. Again, noticing the differences of how we felt when we began the class to how we feel now. And you can take the next 5 to 10 breaths to finish out your practice with maybe something that we didn't do this time that you feel you need. And if you're with me, yogis, stretch the right leg long towards the right corner of your mat, the left leg long towards the left corner of the mat. And allow your arms to splay out, or for your own variation of your final Shavasana. If you are completing your practice with whatever you choose, you have 5 more rounds of breath here. Celebrating you, having compassion that you showed up to your mat today, remembering not to focus on the things that you didn't do, but think of all the things that you have done, maybe not just within this practice, allowing yourself a sense of compassion and grace and understanding with you. Are you doing your best? You probably are, as we all are on this collective journey towards a deeper understanding of maybe ourselves, or maybe not. Maybe you come to yoga for a workout, and that's okay. Remembering to breathe, remembering to have space for yourself, and remembering that you just making it to the mat today is amazing. You spent 1 hour for yourself. Not many people do that. And even if you didn't do the entirety of this class, you still tried. And for that, I'm thankful and I'm grateful. Taking your final rounds of breath in your Shavasana. Feeling overwhelmed is a trap, a tricky one at that. When we're overwhelmed, we will see all that needs to be done and say, that's too much. I can't do it. So instead I shall do nothing. Feeling overwhelmed occurs when we say, I am already too busy, so I can't do that. And now all is pressing in on me and I can't do anything. And the acts that are ours to do keep piling up and pulling on us. And we keep resisting. And stress and pressure build up. Feeling overwhelmed leads to feeling stuck. And both are an illusion. How simple those things that overwhelm us actually become when we release them, become when we release the feeling and return to the rhythm of our lives. When we say, yes, I need to make that phone call, do that task. How simple the task becomes, how simple life becomes. What's bothering you that needs to be done? What's pulling on you? What's causing you to feel overwhelmed and maybe stuck too? Make a list. Put your list aside and begin by taking one simple action. Then watch as life unfolds. One act at a time, one thing at a time. All that needs to be done will get done. The stress will disappear and you'll feel back on track. You'll be given the ability, power, and guidance to do all that is on your path to do. Begin simply, quietly, by acknowledging feeling overwhelmed. Denying the pull of life and its tasks doesn't remove stress, it compounds it. Surrendering to the simple truths, even the simple truth of what we're really feeling, will always set us free. Yogis, I'm so grateful and appreciative to have practiced with you today. With love, with light, with kindness, compassion, and grace, I bid you namaste.